Hey everybody, welcome to Vlogally. It's Emelda.
And I'm Jonathan.
Sorry. Today we want to talk to you guys about our experience with our daughter Zion, our second daughter, who has a congenital heart disease.
This is part 3 of our multi-part series about this little girl right here.
And we just want to share with everybody what we've experienced. We also want to reach out to other parents who might also have a baby with a congenital heart disease, or more specifically, like our daughter, she has
Tetralogy of Fallot.
Yes. And
Fallot.
Yeah, TLF, however you say it.
Fallout 4.
That's his way of calling Tetralogy of Fallot because it's hard to pronounce. We just really want to find other parents that have been going through the same experience as us. We haven't found a lot of other YouTubers out there or anybody else that wants to vlog about tetralogy. We want to know what you guys also go through. So hopefully you guys can hear our story.
Our story can help you in a small way or a big way, however, whichever way. And
Vlog, I love you!
And we're back.
Hi everybody. Okay, so where were we? So we're basically at halftime show.
Yeah, so the halftime show.
So I went into the room, you kicked me out because I was telling you to take off your pants, and then you're like, no, it's not that serious. And you're like, let me call.
I asked you, I go, should I call y'all? Yeah, I just called to see what they say.
Yeah, so then I went back and, I think I watched the second quarter, and then the halftime show came on, and then you came out and you're like, we need to go. Yeah. And I asked you, do you want to watch the halftime show first before we go? And you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because it's
Shakira and
J-Lo.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
It was really good performance.
It was great, yeah.
Yes.
And so but you came out right when it finished, so we had to rewind it for you to watch it, and so then right when it finished, we're like out the door.
Yeah. We drop off Ellie.
The last video, maybe before we become 4, Ellie,
2.
instead of 3.
She said 2.
2.
Kiss mommy. Kiss
Who are the 2?
Her and Zion.
You and mommy, or you and Zion?
Kiss mommy.
Because I know you're gonna get rid of me.
And then on the way to LA we go. So I get admitted. Literally within 30 minutes we are in the OR room. They're like, wham bam, thank you ma'am, let's go, let's do this thing.
So it was like a super rush, and then they're like, wait, we're missing somebody or something.
Yeah.
Because they were like rushing me to get on my little paper gown or paper suit thing. I don't get anything dirty in there, and it was super tight, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Paper thin.
Paper thin. It's not that thin.
It's thin. You've worn it multiple times and he
right.
busted through it.
I didn't bust through it. But so they're like rushing me, and they're like, okay, wait a minute. We're waiting on somebody or something. Just hang tight. So then I'm standing there for like 10 minutes and realizing I'm going to be waiting here a while maybe now. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I'll try to sit. So I had to awkwardly try to sit in this thing that's super tight. And I'm like, it's going to bust open everywhere. But I'm like, okay. And then I'm sitting there. I'm like bored after like 5 minutes. Like, I guess we're not going to go. So I had to reach into the suit and try to awkwardly pull out my cell phone. So then I'm looking at stuff. And then they're like, okay, it's time to go. I had to get up and rush like just across the hall. And just as I got in the room, they're like, okay. I sat down and they're like, okay, do you want to see the baby? you can stand up. I'm like, what? I just got in here. What
Yeah,
the heck? So then they pull out the baby. It's like they're waiting for me to sit down. And
the
they're
procedure,
like,
they were like,
all right.
During the procedure, they're like, where's the dad? I'm like, yeah, where is my husband? Like, okay, we're going to go get him now.
Don't look at my arm to me.
Those are wide open. Congratulations, guys.
Oh,
Says baby.
So we had drop in the heart rate, so we had to go a little faster. So.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
All right.
And can I ask, did you see all my guts and all that stuff?
I saw a little bit.
Did you want to look?
Yeah, I did kind of want to see like what they do, like where like exactly, like sort of like the anatomy inside of what you can see.
And what did you see? Do you remember?
No, I just remember seeing like a bunch of fatty tissue. You can't really see that much. Like,
I asked them, I go, can you do some liposurgery while you're down there? She's like, no.
You can't really make anything out. As far as from what I could see, I couldn't see any like specific organs or anything.
That would have been cool if they just took out some of my fat. Anyways.
Then we wouldn't have to do the weight loss goals.
Yeah.
That's our other video.
Okay,
it's in the description. So yeah, so they like model her, Zion, for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's purple, she's a Thanos baby. What the heck? She looked just like Thanos, and then I got a picture right here. I'll show you. Like, has like two little wrinkles, lines, just like Thanos. I'm like, oh gosh, because when Ellie came out, she had purple hands and feet, and so I'm like, that's a Thanos baby. This one, all purple, just so purple. And so, like, when they showed me Ellie, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a white baby. And then they showed me Zion. I'm like, hey, maybe she's more mixed.
Yeah.
This time, but...
No, this baby is definitely Jonathan's side of the family. Nothing wrong with that. I would rather have my kids look like him than me.
I think we both want the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
And you win. I won.
we all win. So then they took her and they put her and they like prepped her and took her temperature and all that stuff.
Right.
And wiped her down. And then finally you got to see her and kiss her real quick before they then took me and her to the NICU.
Yeah.
Because of her heart condition, she was going to have to be, how do I say it? Like monitored in the NICU for the remainder of her stay in the hospital. Right. So she didn't get to come into our room. No.
She wasn't in our room at all. She ended up staying in the NICU for some time, but we'll go into that more later.
So how did it feel that first morning to get to see her?
I was so anxious to see her because I wanted to, at least hold her and see how she was doing.
But you were already adamant, like, can we breastfeed? When do we get to breastfeed? And right. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen for at least a couple days or something.
Okay, we're gonna see baby Zion right now. Jonathan or I has not held her yet. It's been how many hours? Zion, we can't wait to hold you and squeeze you and kiss you and love you. Mwah. Hi, baby. It's mommy. Wakey.
And then you can go back to sleep.
Hi, my love. I'm gonna see you soon. You gonna go home? You gonna mommy and daddy? Okay.
Yes, please.
Hi, baby. Hi, beautiful baby.
Do you need a pillow or you?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
We go in to see Zion. I didn't know that after she was born, her SAT levels dropped. So they had to provide her with oxygen and they had to provide her with medication to dilate her blood vessels. Going in to see Zion like that was just terrifying. Because she's just so little. But we knew she was a tough cookie when we saw her.
Crumpet.
A tough crumpet.
That's my nickname.
With your pinky
for her.
out.
Pinky out.
She always likes to put her pinkies out.
Eventually, she got the tube out, and she started getting removed from her medication, IVs. Everything was going pretty well. Emelda finally got to
hold her and breastfeed her.
Yeah.
And she latched on like a little turtle, like snap.
Here she is. Oh, but prior to that, you were able to start pumping milk, and you were pumping a heck of a lot of milk, which was so different than Ellie because it was a struggle. Sometimes you'd be no milk coming in, and so we'd have to like rush and get lactation cookies and lactation milk and all kinds of stuff. And then this time it's just a never-ending fountain flowing or whatever. That's why she's so big. It's a big girl after all. It's a big girl after all. So they kicked Emelda out of the hospital 4 days later, but Zion had to stay for further observation for a few more days. So we actually got a hotel not that far away. We sometimes stayed at the hotel as opposed to going in and bothering her and then bothering the staff. And there was only allowed to be like 2 people
at a time
with a child. You're in a room with 5 other babies, so you don't want to disturb them either. So it's like you don't want to be in there for too long, and then the nurses have to go in and check certain things whenever their IVs go off, so then you don't want to be in the way for too long. At the same time, you want to see your baby, you want to hold her.
Well, they want us there too because it helps them, because they have multiple babies. We're there to also help, obviously, care for our child and be there with our child, but at the same time, we don't want to be too much of a burden.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you to everyone there for taking care of our babies, and making sure that they're okay. And we're glad to see a lot of the babies being taken care of and able to overcome their conditions.
She was in the NICU for 7 days, and while we were there, because of the way that her congenital heart diseases, her tetralogy of flow of her heart wasn't allowing enough oxygenation or saturation to be provided to her body.
Yeah, that's part of the Tetralogy Fallot 4.
Yeah.
Look at this immaculate, perfectly accurate drawing of a human heart. Yep. So if this is your heart, on the right you have the red blood, on the left you have the blue blood. Potentially, there are 4 things that are wrong when it comes to somebody with Tetralogy of Fallot. But the most important one, at least in the beginning, is the fact that there's a hole in the wall called the septal defect, ventricular septal defect. What's happening is blue blood is spilling into the red blood, and red blood is spilling into the blue blood. Red blood is oxygenated blood. This is blood that's supposed to go to your body. So,
and her pulmonary artery, is it artery or the pulmonary vein is very small.
She had 4 different things that we'll get into later, but that's the main one that's causing her blood to be not as oxygenated. So then she has low O2 saturation. When it goes to your finger, you're not getting as much oxygen as normally people should. A good rate is over 95%. So like 95 to 100 is a good rate.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Daddy's here too. It's okay. Oh, it is nice and warm for you. Oh,
You're eating so you're hungry. I know you're hungry.
I hear my mommy.
We're gonna talk about you guys for just a quick second.
Okay.
Can you give us her name?
It's Zion.
We do. Mom and Dad, what are we doing today?
We are doing a stent through the groin to her PDA.
Wow. All right.
Dr.
Can we
Melda.
hire her? Hey, when can you start? You want to start today, or you
No,
want to?
she's got to recover.
You want to do this after?
All right? No. No, you're good.
She's on
Okay.
maternity.
All right. Okay.
Saturations are pretty good. What do you have right now? 88. So this is off of PG. So presumably the duct is still hasn't closed, but sometimes these things kind of over time they do close. So we'll take a look. Any other questions, issues, concerns? Mom and Dad? No? So guess what we're going to do?
Take care of our baby.
What are we going to do?
Go in.
No, what are you guys going to do? What am I
Go
going
out.
to do?
You're going to go in. We're going out.
Out.
All right.
We're going to kick you out. So why don't we have you give a little kiss here?
Kiss. Kiss the baby.
You don't want us eating right now. And we'll kick you out. All right, time is in.
She's wide awake.
I know.
Oh, no.
She's like, what's going on? There's a lot of people.
Oh, you want me awake? Okay, I'll be awake.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys back upstairs, okay?
And so this is what requires open heart surgery. Now, a workaround is keeping the PDA open, which is around here up top, which usually closes right soon after birth. If it stays open, then that's usually a problem. But somehow there's a workaround with that for tetralogy babies, for Fallout 4 babies, because essentially I don't really understand it. So they needed to put a stent to keep that hole open. The stent will give them 6 months or more so that they can prolong having to give the baby open heart surgery. It's a little bit safer and better, and the baby usually is bigger, so it's a little bit easier to get into the heart and see all the issues that are wrong and that need to be fixed. So we got to bring Zion home. Here we are bringing her home.
I was freaked out in that car driving her home.
yeah?
I think it's these hormonal, but I mean, I always freak out. I'm just a freak out person.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is she okay?
I don't know.
Okay.
Speak.
But I was freaking out in the car the whole way home. I'm like, I can't breathe. Is she gonna be okay? Are we gonna get in a car accident?
No.
Driving all the way home from Los Angeles was a long ride home.
It was so great to bring her home and to see her in such a good condition, because at the beginning, you know, when you hear, you know, and I think probably other people feel this way too, when you hear about it, you're like, I don't know, you don't know if tomorrow's gonna happen, kind of, if that makes sense. Like, so you're just sort of hoping every day for the best, and you know, and days just got better and better. So look forward to that in the next video.
We hope you guys enjoyed our second video. Just want to remind you guys there's 3 more coming. I know it seems like a lot, but they are really interesting stories about what's to come for Zion and our trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But for those of you that are going through the same thing, remember It'll get better.
Mhm.
Things will get better.
And if you need encouraging words, just reach out to us.
Yeah.
You know, our social media is in the description. You can also just leave a comment. We'll try to comment back. Hope to see you in the next video. Please subscribe, like, and
Sure.
thank you.